out on this new road. No turning back. But we have our ancestors with us. We're going to continue to dance with them. Oh. Dreaming them. Calling them. We are becoming what we were.
It is part of that Mayan prophecies.
7 triangles of light.
Keep walking. You are the spirit of Unaku. Keep walking. We the human, we are doing the spirit of Unaku.
People who say that the gods made them from corn. They planned their lives according to the heavens. Well-versed in astronomy, using a sophisticated mathematics, they calculated the movements of the night sky thousands of years into the past and thousands of years into the future. They knew that the universe moved in cycles. Their lives were ruled by the rhythms of the natural world, planting and harvesting, birth and death, just as the great tree of life emerges from the earth.
Always they're connected. Science and religion.
In dreams, we learn from the Maya gods when to plant and when to harvest, when to set the fire, and when to do the corn ceremony.
What we're digging up, what we're coming up with is part of our history. And the men that lived here are some of the greatest men we've ever had. And it's a fact that we're getting to know more and more and more about the life of these people.
They still maintain their customs. They still maintain their ways of organizing their societies. And it's very exciting to see how much of the ancient Maya way of life is still alive as well.
Because American history does not begin in 1492 with Columbus. It begins in 200 BC with the first Maya king who wrote his name on a stone. What is happening now is the people who made these places, people like Yashpak or Bird Jaguar or Fakal, are getting back their voices. They are becoming real to us and speaking to the people of the 20th century about who built this place and why and what they felt and what they thought about the world. These are not anonymous people anymore.
You are the spirit of Unaku. Keep walking. We the human, we are doing the spirit of Unaku.
Yo, yo.
Yo, yo.
¿Qué hubo de raza?
LA Natives Podcast. Las Aslan.
Aquí estamos, everybody.
Las Aslan Natives Podcast.
Absolutely. LA. Yeah, I just want to let everyone know on the IG who's, hitting me up on the IG. We are live on YouTube, and there's a chat, and you can express yourself. So please join me there. I'm going to sign off in a little bit on IG Live, but just whoever's on, IG and wants to catch our live broadcast, just remember every Wednesday, 8 o'clock, we have our little podcast, Las Aslan. So welcome, everyone.
Yeah. We have a very special co-host today. We have Product Pistolas in the building. A very extremely talented artist.
Absolutely.
Out of LA.
A really smart guy.
Central Los Angeles, man.
He's really smart, too. That's why I like him. I like the way he markets his music. I like the way what his opinion is. And he has a lot of heart, bro.
Any new music you want people to listen to right now?
Man, go listen to Baby Huey 3.5. It's new music, I'm making beats, I'm working on new stuff, and, got like 26 tracks, straight mixtape shit. I'm just going in there and feeling like I'm Lil Wayne.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys been great as role models to people like myself,
It just takes a long time, and you just can't give up. And so that's all it takes. Just keep making music, bro. It's just, no one's going to ever tell you not to make music.
Yeah, man. That's
Product
it.
Pistolas is actually going to go on a little mini tour, hitting
way.
4 cities with Conejo that I'm actually road managing.
SKM, baby.
Coming up in
Fire.
September. So give Product some advice, because I know you've toured for many of years. How's it like for an artist for the first time touring, Zero?
The first time is so fun, but you make a lot of mistakes. You got to remember you're going out there and you have an audience because someone else has an audience.
Right.
So then that means you're going to come back with data, merch sales, and you're not unhealthy. Unfortunately, the first time on tour, like people want to stay out late, people want to eat late.
Las drogas, no hagan drogas.
Or, none of that was like kind of there was pot and stuff, but there wasn't like anything crazy.
I'm on some Jimi Hendrix shit. I'm sorry. I just be on some
No, but
Jimi
just
Hendrix.
have fun, bro. Have fun.
Yeah.
And if you can write down a few things that you need to focus on, because you don't always have those opportunities to have an audience where you go, you're in front of 1,000 people, 500 people, and you go, well, where's your page? And you follow. When you come back home, you should have 500 more followers, and followers that met you and have a connection with you.
Genuinely, yeah.
It's like that's
what
the
it's
job
about.
of a musician.
Yeah, hell yeah. It feels better. Sometimes you don't have too many followers, but those that do follow you genuinely fuck with you every day.
Well,
they ask you how you
they
doing.
call
What's up?
roots, grassroots, kind of thing. And that's the kind of the ones that, at least for me, everyone who's followed me or who does any of that has been, I didn't run no ads. I didn't, and I'm not bragging about that either. I'm just saying that it's been a clear connection with whoever I'm interacting on these platforms.
For sure.
And it's been a cool connection because I really, people value my music and my opinion. And if I don't care if it's 10 or 100 or 100,000 or 1 million, it's gonna be the same.
How was touring in Mexico?
It was cool because the people there, you start to realize that the people there that go to your concert, that's all they're looking forward to, because they're not gonna go buy a house or buy a car or buy a computer or buy even an iPhone
Or Louis Vuitton. Or Gucci
they're not really, they're into experiences. And so those people really, when they see you and they're a fan of you, they let it all out. Like if you're a rock star, it's just, they just appreciate music because they worked all week to go there and, just let loose with their favorite artists. And I remember when we toured there, the first time we expected just the people in the bar to be there, no one to know us, know about us. But then it getting 25 people who were fans of El Vuh, because a tattoo artist took one of our CDs to Tijuana and he started doing tattoos, and he'd play it while he was doing tattoos, and then ended up going to Mexico. And then boom, people in Mexico started, sharing the CD, and it was just, it was crazy. It was kind of like old school viral,
Yeah, wildfire is why we used to call shit like wildfire. For that shit caught on,
So Mexico is a great experience, man.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun.
Is that where you're going? To Mexico?
No, we're gonna hit. We're
gonna be hitting, I think, Portland, Boise, Salt Lake City, and somewhere in Washington.
You feel me?
Somewhere in Washington.
So wherever we're at,
that's gonna be fun,
out
dude.
there,
Whenever you get
go get a ticket. You know what I'm saying? To all the people that are out there, go get a ticket. Conejo is gonna be in the house. Product Pistolas. You got a couple of other artists coming in there, and it's gonna be live.
On the 15th, we're hitting Hillsboro, Oregon. 16th, Pasco, Washington. 17th, Cardwell, Idaho, and the 18th, Salt Lake City.
It's a journey, man. I got this dope ass song. I got this dope ass song for all my immigrant people.
I'm gonna meet a lot of new connections. Shake, these venues, owners' hands or the managements, and try to keep building for what we're trying to do.
Man, Raza travels. Raza travels, bro. Raza gets on their fucking wagon and travels all around America. We're everywhere, man.
And so again, Product Pistolas. Make sure you guys follow them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So tonight's a special night because we're not necessarily interviewing anybody, but we're just going to talk about some current events and some topics that hit me personally. And I feel like me running a hip hop platform myself and being Mexican, I feel like I have an obligation to the community to speak on this. You know,
sure.
I know for a fact that I have a huge responsibility when I run my hip hop platform. Bottom line, guys, I feel like, you know, we stick to the fundamentals, which is just promoting hip hop and hip hop only.
For sure.
We're not here, you know, trying to create, you know, I don't know, either tension or discussion
or
upon
division
upon any, you know, group of people.
Right. Liability.
Absolutely.
Liability.
So that being said, we were filling Zero in on a few situations regarding Adam of No Jumper. I'm sure everyone is familiar that apparently, from what I know and from what people telling me, No Jumper is the most popular platform in hip hop right now on
Gatekeepers.
YouTube. Gatekeepers.
For sure, gatekeepers.
Have you ever heard of No
culture.
Jumpers though?
I've seen like a couple of their posts. I didn't look into like what podcast it was. It was just like this whoever was talking or whatever the topic was. But I've seen the logo in the background. Yeah,
Absolutely. And
I know it's big though.
yeah, so apparently American Cholo went into Power 106 and demanded for Tyga to remove his latest music videos about
Ay Caramba.
what was it called?
Ay Caramba, I believe Ay Caramba.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened. He was able to get it taken down. That's power, right, Zero?
Well, yeah. Well, when you're in Los Angeles though, and you're dealing with individuals who are, you know, they're from the street, you know, and they've been behind bars and done some time, and you know, there's a reason why we have a prison culture. There's an origin to that, and I'm going to get somebody as a guest to talk about how the city of Los Angeles treated Mexicans and the children of Mexicans, and kind of had a plan of incarceration, right? And that bred these individuals who would leave the neighborhood for a long time, go to prison, learn things there, and then come back out and still have enough life to come back out and, you know, kind of reacclimate.
Have like an institutionalized mentality. You know what I mean?
And and the thing is that there's that breed of individuals who, you know, feel like, well, that's just their road. You know, you really can't do much about it if you're gonna do the things that get you in those situations.
They got you in trouble.
So long story short, guys, just to give a little bit of context on what we're trying to talk about, is American Cholo goes on Power 106. They take the I Caramba music video down, right?
Which is interesting.
That was crazy. That's powerful.
Because I don't know, I've never seen
do you know
people threaten people with
Tiger.
guns and
They punk Tiger.
right.
yeah, but like, how
why
do you
does
get,
it
like
have
this
to
is
be
a big fucking radio station.
But
It's
why
not
does
just-
it have to be in public? You know, in an interview for it to happen is to get those hits, the clicks, and to make,
you know, this
man,
is like
they have an
millions of
agenda.
dollars.
They have an
That's
agenda.
like such an agenda right there.
It's an agenda to create division, bro. And they you know what I mean? They've been doing it, and they keep attacking at it, and they keep, you know, they're ruining it for the people that are really out here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
If anyone in the chat knows what we're talking about, you know, how do you guys feel about that? How, you know, Tiger took down the Ikram. I don't know. Me personally, you know, I've seen worse. You know, hip hop is hip hop. Everyone's creative in their way, shape, or form. Yeah, I did take offense to it, but you know, I just don't think it was necessary for it to just get pulled down like that. Just because, you know, there was a group of people that got really offended by it.
like, to me, obviously, when you're blatantly making fun of someone or you know, whatever it is, whether it be racial or whether it be, you know, ethnic or whatever it is, you know, it's an important topic to defend. But to make it like a week long, month long,
fuck, dude.
you know, podcasts are like really all over it, and look at this power move that happened. And did it stop anybody else from making fun of Mexicans? I'm sure there's other videos.
That's the thing I'm trying to get at, Zero. You know,
it doesn't really stop anyone else from making fun of Mexicans or making fun of
being
natives.
attacked, vendors being attacked out there, all kinds of shit. You know?
I mean, that's where we need to develop awareness in terms of what is taking our energy.
Now
right?
look, now
these
this
very
is-
popular shows who have charismatic hosts who say the right things to people who relate to them, and there's a lot of people that have been incarcerated, you know,
For
and
sure.
have
Most of
come
the
out.
OGs, shit, all of the OGs were incarcerated. All the older fools were
Yeah,
incarcerated.
it's prison culture, you know,
Yeah.
that's been going on for a very long time. It's just that with technology, when they come back into acclimate, it's like
not the same. Fool.
20 years.
They were playing Nintendo 64 and then they come.
Yeah,
out with
like,
the
what the
PS5,
fuck?
like, what
Cell
the fuck?
phone? What is
Like,
FaceTime?
what the
And-
fuck?
This is the reason why I'm kind of
we got
upset because
iPhones?
with all this bullshit drama going down, it's under one umbrella, and you know what it is? It's hip hop,
Right.
That we're all part of. Zero.
Well, they took hip hop and they made it a violent thing, you know, with the East Coast West Coast thing. Even from the beginning, you know, they took battling as like.
So this fits right into their bullshit.
Well,
There was a meeting. There was a meeting that fucked it all up. Remember they talked about that meeting that turned hip hop into gangster shit and made the killing of you know, people in the minorities killing each other and shit. That's what the agenda was like. Remember that shit? That was like some type of shit was out there. Was that speculation? Was that not like Lazy Bone from the Bone Thugs talk about it? There's podcasts out there where they cover shit like this. And
Well, music
the whole
affect-
agenda of hip hop and rap.
Music affects a lot of things in a lot of areas. It could, you know, really affect a certain community, you know? And to have music that glorifies going to jail, you know, and spending years of your life in jail.
What about
I mean, that's just clever
What about
slave
the-
masters.
For sure.
Clever slave masters figuring out ways to catch the slaves, because when you study Jim Crow, Jim Crow developed a psychological trap, right?
Trap your mind. You trap
For-
yourself first.
For slavery.
For sure.
And they've perpetuated those things in different areas through movies, through music, through who everyone promotes. So it doesn't surprise me that what is it, 21 Jump Street or what the fuck is it?
No Jumper.
Oh,
No
there
Jumper.
it is, No Jumper. There you go. I'm not surprised that No Jumper is making this into something where, you know, it could be a race thing. It could be like, it's almost like they took the blueprint of East Coast, West Coast thing and they just apply it to everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
All they
this
have
is
like-
this is Tyga versus the Mexican community
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Ooh, look at the East Coast, West Coast thing, or whatever the fuck it is. I'm using that as just an example of how
That's a great metaphor.
they carbon copy this shit and they just keep going, and now it's like a genre, like where you know, this very popular white man.
Dude, that's what I was gonna get to. Like, break it down. Who is he? Who is this No Jumper
I mean,
guy
I
that we're
don't know
talking
him
about? This Adam
personally.
22?
I've never done any
Who is
research
he?
on him. I've heard he's hooked to like Bill Clinton, which means he's a liberal, which means, and has to be a part of the Masonic Lodge. So
that's some high power shit now. See,
I
now
mean,
that's high
they
power
they
shit.
try to downplay. I heard him say something about like
He does have a whole bunch of tattoos.
Now
like a
they're
Nazi.
saying I'm
He
a
does.
Mason, and now they're saying I'm a this and I'm a that. Well, fuck, dude, the road's right there. It's like you're not gonna go, oh yeah, I know Bill Clinton without knowing. You don't just know Bill Clinton.
Well, it's alleged that he doesn't necessarily know Bill Clinton, but his
It doesn't
father,
matter.
His
it
father,
doesn't matter.
His
It doesn't
father
matter.
is
It's like
Used to
me.
play croquet with the-
Like people know movies, right? And they know The Godfather. And if you were
main,
Michael
bro.
Corleone's cousin
Their
or
main
son
mafia
or
shit,
brother,
for sure.
would people fuck with you?
right?
Just because you know fucking Michael Corleone.
Tillian shit.
You're connected to a very powerful man who has Secret Service agents after he leaves presidency. This, you can't downplay like, oh, I don't really know him. I've never met him. But your dad has?
Blood sucking reptilian shit going on right there.
Well, I don't know what the fuck they do up there. But the point is, you can't downplay that you know very powerful people. That's truth. And you're the head of this hip hop platform.
Empire.
Gatekeepers.
That promotes violence against each other.
Man.
Drug use, pharmaceuticals. Like, people don't think that this, like the trap thing and how they mention Percocet and how they mention Xanax and how these are pharmaceutical products
Drugs, all these are
that have been taken off your mom's medicine cabinet and put into your school.
Hey, pass me that shit for sure. That's exactly what's
Right?
going on.
So it's just like, you see it in movies. Oh, pass me a Xanax. One of the
music,
stars.
all the rap.
It's just like they use it like if it's like, oh, it's very safe. It's a safe thing. But pharmaceuticals are just their own thing. And the birth of pharmaceuticals, not to get too much off on a tangent, because we're talking about 21 Jump Street.
It's so relevant though.
It's all connected. It's all connected. These guys are very clever at that in terms of lying to people who are very ill-informed. Like, No Jumper probably goes, yeah, I could probably make, millions of dollars off these uninformed Africans and Mexicans who feel like they're a part of this culture chasing people who are promoting pharmaceuticals. And no one questions it. No one goes, hey, did whoever produces Xanax give you a check? Like fucking a vodka company giving P. Diddy a cut of that because he's promoting it, right?
I just feel like the elite, it's getting limited now on who has voices because now alternative media is the new big media. Am I right, Zero? Like now there's YouTubers out there that are getting more hits than the traditional commercial lane, cable, national television, radio, etc. So, who's the best to do it is this kid. A kid from New Hampshire. You would have never thought if I would have told you, like, I saw a video, the homie was saying, 10 years ago, if I told you, Zero, hey, dude, there's going to be a white boy, from New Hampshire, tattoos everywhere, resembles a neo-Nazi, and he's going to come to L.A., become a big BMX kid, and ultimately run the number one platform in hip-hop in the world. You would have been like, oh, that will never happen.
No, yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. But
start creating
infiltrated the culture.
Creating drama amongst the group of individuals that started hip hop, the Black and Latino community.
When you have lots of money, you're a business. Think of it as No Jumper being a store where you sell slaves, but you're not selling physical slaves. You're selling their torture stories, their drug overdose, their beef with the community, so that all communities could start fighting each other without knowing. Like, it's kind of like Raider fans fighting Charger fans. They don't even know each other. They don't know why. It's just something that they hate.
Promoting beefs, people get killed over fucking No Jumper.
He's a boxing promoter, whatever you want to see it as. Don't take it personal. Your job is to be aware of people like that.
Yeah.
It's not so much, oh, let's take him down. I want him to get more popular so we could see how a snake slithers. It's simple to just witness, observe how that whole downplaying of knowing Bill Clinton, that was the big fucking red flag. Like, yeah, I don't really know him, and now I'm connected to the Masons. Like, that's the first thing everybody says when they're a part of like something sinister and weird. They start mentioning that they're not. And
well, I'm not saying Bill Clinton is a part of any of that. Just on air.
Oh, he's dirty, bro. Like Bill Clinton's like, he's a drug.
For sure, they fuck bitches together.
Drug, from Arkansas. Like, there's a long history with the Clintons, and this isn't no conspiracy theory. This is fucking things that happened that they did, and they're very dangerous. And
Jeffrey Epstein,
they're very dangerous political thing. But that's what their family came to do here in America, right? And so
we shouldn't be surprised that No Jumper exists.
Exactly,
and it's creating division amongst the community.
You could put $5 million into anything and you're going to have a business, right? We just can't be that uninformed to go, this looks kind of funny that there's a reason why you don't see Liar Cohen's face. You know, you see somebody else as a CEO, you see somebody else as the president, like Jay-Z, but you don't see Liar Cohen. Liar Cohen's like in the back going, fucking, this is how you run shit. Right? But this time it's like the white boy came out and just said, oh, I'm one of you guys. Look at my tattoos and look, I'll put your music on. What? You fucked her? Wow, isn't that somebody's girlfriend? Oh, shit. Oh, look at that. And then
that's newsworthy. That's the key word. If it's newsworthy, it's out there.
But what kind of news? That's not news. That's like gossip. That's like, you might as well, that's like fucking TMZ or the Inquirer. You know, even if the fucking shit is factual, it's personal information.
It's gang politics.
It's like
politicking about shit in gang. They should be in prison, caged, talk about weird shit. You know?
They're not going to talk about that. They're not going to talk about that. And there's a reason why people who are of indigenous descent, whether American Cholo wants to recognize his indigeneity or not, right? They have to realize that there's a reason why they pick on us. There's a reason why they take advantage of us. Because we are prisoners of war. You don't celebrate or, oh, that happened a long time ago, bro. We're good. You're still the major population in a mixed sense. Right? You're still, if everybody who took the word Mexican out of their vocabulary, not to offend anybody, but to go, I'm indigenous because somehow, some way I'm connected to an indigenous tribe or a part of Mexico that was fully indigenous before the Spaniards came. We lost, how far did Mexico extend to? All the way up to Oregon.
Yeah.
This is a large piece of land. They didn't take us all out, but they're not going to go, oh, yeah, Senator fucking so-and-so or President so-and-so. You know, the son of the individuals who lost the war. Like, you're kind of giving power back to the people that you took it from. That's why we will never be recognized. That's why we will never be famous and super.
We can't have
We have to have a
Hollywood.
divisive component to us for us to be popular. We have to have that. If not, they're not going to put you on. They're not going to put anybody on that's going to say, hey, bro, it doesn't matter that you're from Guatemala and I'm from Mexico. We're all one indigenous family. It doesn't matter that you're from Canada and I'm from fucking California. We're all one indigenous family. They're not going to put somebody on to say that because we lost all. If we're talking about Mexico, we lost all of it to Oregon, to New Mexico, right? Now let's talk about the Plains Indians. They lost all of Montana, all of fucking whatevers, right? They're never going to put somebody on who they defeated. Guess what? We don't need them to put us on. Why the fuck would we need them to put us on? If we erase that Mexican, Northern tribe, whatever. I'm not saying don't be proud yourself. Don't be sovereign. But erase the divisive white man paperwork name that he made up for you after he fucked you in the ass and he took all your land. You can't erase that fact. Even if you live in a fucking 5-bedroom house in the best neighborhood, you can't erase the fact that they fucked everybody else. And they're fucking pointing at you going, yeah, you're going to be the fucking house nigger. Get the fuck up there. Here's $1 million. Shut your fucking mouth up. And the rest of us suffer. Fighting each other. Going, I want to be him. It's fair. America's going to let me be him. No, they're not. Not if you bring any unity to people. Not if you bring any medicine to people. Don't look to the white man to give you anything. The fact that it was owned by a white man, you should already be skeptical and say, he's probably not going to be worth my time. This platform is not going to be worth my time because there's some manipulation there. It's not a coincidence.
It's an agenda.
You know, it's not a coincidence.
There's an agenda to take over, you know what I'm saying?
You know, hip hop as a whole is, I believe, is for positivity. Zero.
Yeah.
There's more hip hop artists out there that preach positivity. I wish was more exposed. But unfortunately, when you listen to Power 106 or you listen to any of these mainstream radio stations, all you hear is absolute fucking trash, in my opinion. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
It's because we're trying to find light in something that was made to be dark, to take advantage of someone, to hold power over someone. Those are the people that get to be on the stage and get to be in the movie, and they get to do their little secret things in their video that represent some sort of connection with a, esoteric group that nobody knows about, that they're so in on, and they're so fucking spiritual, but none of them come with humility. To be powerful in the power of nature, you need humility. What you guys are in is in a fantasy, a controlled fantasy, a fantasy invested by bankers to distract populations to do their bidding. Recently, and this is an example of what I mean, it's all tied into mainstream.
Absolutely.
Because the mainstream artists affect the population by them going, well, I'm vaccinated. Are you vaccinated? Why ain't you? Not saying that I am or I ain't. I'm just saying this is weird when a celebrity is pushing a medical intervention. He's not educated in it. He's not a doctor yet. He's going, hey, this is the safest thing. And what if it isn't? To be mainstream, you got to be with the agenda. And what is the agenda? White supremacy. You will never be us. You can be rich, but you will never be us. And you know that. And you know that we can destroy you. That's like a king over peasants. If you follow that reality. If you chase that carrot.
That realm.
You know what I mean? Like wanting to be around, supposedly smart people. Well, he graduated from Oxford. Well, fuck, when did Oxford or England or anybody come with profound wisdom? I'm talking about astrological alignments, mathematics, art science,
irrigation,
science of nature. None of it came from England. And yet Harvard, Oxford, and all them other bullshit fucking thieves of knowledge that they took from indigenous people, and now they hide it and they study it and they fucking do experiments with it, and now they're the individuals that know it better than the people who taught it to them. They're just not very smart, is what I'm gonna say. And being a greedy person and not caring about the environment that you live in, not caring about the people that you live around, just even if you had a 5-acre house, you still live around other people. And when you hurt and damage the water, you're damaging the water for your own self. That's why our people called you mentally unhealthy. That's why people say that the elites are psychopaths. Because they will destroy the place that they live in on themselves.
Yep.
And it goes back, and they have this type of mentality that leads they feel like this. I'm talking about like it's its own disease, right? This mentality. It has nothing to do with your color of skin or your blue eyes or your blonde hair. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with hate and superiority.
It's a devil.
Right? Back in the day, something called manifest destiny allowed white people or people of European descent coming in the name of the Lord with that Bible to murder people and pay them for it.
Slaughter.
Like you could murder indigenous people and guess what? We'll pay you for it.
Here's some gold coins.
Here's $25, which back in the day was like, So to see a white man destroy a frutero's cart is not surprising if we look at our intergenerational trauma. It's just evolving. And there's not very many people that are supporting him anymore. Back in the day, I'm sure there was other white people that supported him. But I didn't see anybody come out there that was also white. It was just his very personal opinion, and he feels offended that some peasants on his block,
check that out,
selling fruit. Like he
took an axe.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Think about it. So think about like a Native American family back in the day. And they had a teepee there. And this white asshole fucking just made his cabin, down the road. And he comes over here and he says, "Get your fucking indigenous dirty dogs, you savages." And he fucking starts, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just in modern times.
2022.
It's not going to go away because they don't feel like it's a sickness to feel superior over another race.
Our people are being attacked. Hey, 2022, we're going right now in Congress. They're building laws against our people crossing that wall, becoming immigrants. Kids get stripping away from their parents, then they end up 7 years in a cage. They get lost. Parents die. Kids
so we see something dramatic like that, right? We see something as dramatic as that. I mean, the guy's probably terrified. If I went to some place with an axe and I destroyed something, that would be like assault with a deadly weapon.
No, you wouldn't survive.
It would be crazy.
You wouldn't survive.
It'd be nuts.
You would already be in jail right now.
Yeah,
I would.
I'm sure this guy's out right there. No one.
It's called white supremacy, bro. It's called white supremacy. That's what it's called. You got to face it and call it what it is. It's not anything other than that.
White privilege,
it's like
white supremacy.
You can't do that. We wouldn't be able to do that.
I'm gonna be honest. Me personally, growing up as a kid and, living in Whittier right now, right? I grew up everywhere, but right now I live in Whittier. To this day, I've always loved my street vendors. Every time they came by, the aletero man, the raspado man, the champurrado lady. That's what I remember growing up as a kid, bro. Like me, I don't know what it was, but I always loved my street vendors. Zero.
I think because excuse me for interrupting, but I know when I went to go buy stuff off of them, even from the kid to now, I know how hard they're fucking busting their ass. And don't think they're walking away with $500. They're walking away with maybe $130. On a good day, $300 on a good day. And they've spent all day walking up a hill with a cart. It's not like the wheels are perfect. No, man, they're pushing and they're grinding and they're, that's why my vision for my businesses, my music is to invent things that help people like that thrive without any cost. That's the new version. That's the answer to greed, is to not be greedy yourself. To know that we're small people. We don't need much to live here. And I'm not saying not to have fun or not to have a nice place to live. What I'm saying is that you don't need 5 places to live. Empty, just playing this white man's illusion, right? It's an illusion, all that financial bullshit, right? And you get lost in it. Just take what you need and you're going to be a happy person. This person right there, he feels like that destroyed. He felt that he needed to do that. He felt like he needed to assert his dominance.
Yeah, play that again. Let the people see that shit again.
Over what he disagreed with, which is a individual. Man, some of these guys
That's not considered mental illness, guys, right? It's not.
No.
Like, don't get it confused, because that's what they're going to try to do. Or is it his attorneys or whatever if he gets arrested?
He was drunk.
It's just pure hate, right?
Drunk.
Of course it is. It's what they used to do to natives when they wanted to get rid of them because there were so many of them. Don't ever think that we were just this little bit of population and, you know, it was a few hundred of us and it sucked that they killed like 30 of us. And dude, it was in the hundreds and the thousands and the hundreds of thousands.
Check that
and the
shit.
worst thing they did was steal children. That's the worst thing they fucking did.
Look at that right there. That's crazy. He feels powerful right here. Look at this. Look at
Yeah,
that.
like this is my land. Manifest destiny, bitch. That's what he's thinking in his head, bro. That's what he's thinking, like a fucking pioneer.
Wow, look at that.
Right?
Look at Columbus. Look at fucking. Oh man, that's horrible.
I mean, that's what.
That Cortez right
imagine, like, you know, turning over teepees. Get these fuckers out of here. They're too close to the lake. We want to be right here. You know, we want to be by the beach.
Estamos macheteando mi vitrina.
They feel entitled to do
Estoy
that.
grabando.
And, you know, obviously, stuff like this gets us riled up, and we
this
want
is
to
not
protest
cool.
in front of their house. But take the judgment out of it and see it for what it is. It's a mentally ill man who has no concept of what life really is, because life is about community, making friends, helping each other. That's what made us thrive here on these lands. You know, all native groups work together. Everyone loved their role. There was no forced work. It was just something that you want to contribute because you loved your community. That example of this individual who felt so entitled to destroy someone else's property, someone else's living, someone else who's probably only getting paid $30 to do that, right? Stand there all day in 100-degree weather. And here you come, fucking just manifest destiny in it. You know what I mean? Like, just fuck it, you know, 2022, and I'm still on that vibe. You know? You're mentally ill. And all of our ancestors kept saying that about you, Europeans. They're mentally ill. We don't understand why they need so much. Why do they need 5-10 acres to put this little shitty ass house made out of fucking wood, and you're gonna come and kill me because I stepped on it?
They're made different, fool. White people are like, they have to be like a science experiment. Like they're on some other shit.
Yeah. Well, they definitely feel entitled to treat original people of this continent like, you know, they're still in fucking pioneer town. You know, you're not getting paid $25 a head. You know what I mean? It's like this dude is lost in time.
That's crazy. Growing up, I wouldn't see white people at all. Like in the community I grew up in, there'd be no white people. Like you only see white people in school, and they were like the fucking counselors, the deans,
right?
The people in power. You know, you would never see white until I went one time to Venice Beach, bro, and it was my first time out there, and I saw this bunch of white people. And they were really racist, bro. They started saying shit like, yo, there's trash on the beach now. There's this and that. And I was like, my first time experiencing white people was that way. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, it was really, it caused an effect growing up. Like, you know what I mean?
You know, my experience, I love my white brothers and sisters out there, you know, and, you know,
we're not talking about them.
As I always state, me and Zero. Me and Zero, we always talk about it. It's the ones that disrespect the land, the water, the air, the fire, the wind.
Exploit people.
Yeah.
Who think they're better than someone. So, you know, what we're talking about is someone who goes and destroys property that's not his because he feels entitled to do that because this is America.
Someone like, like No Jumper.
But my experience was a little unusual. Because from what I know, my parents moved from Cudahy. This was before I was born. I was born in Downey. They moved from Cudahy to Shaleyfield Road in Downey. It was kind of like a block away from the Stonewood Mall. And from what I know, we were the only Mexican family amongst like a 4-block radius at that time. And my parents always said there was always some racist shit going down once a week, you know, either signs or trash thrown in fucking front of the yard or some shit like that. So when I was born, I just grew up with a whole bunch of white people. You know, I went to Real San Gabriel as an elementary school kid, and yeah, I was like one of the few Mexican kids there. Everyone else was Asian or white, you know. But ultimately, when it comes to people who have influence on the mic and they have a platform, I just think it's not a coincidence that No Jumper and Adam 22 is like being involved in this garbage.
In the lead of this shit, huh?
Yeah,
that's crazy, fool.
Because
So
like with our journey with LA Natives podcast, you have a responsibility on what you say on this microphone.
Yeah, but some people call me corny or preachy or I'm sure if Adam ever were to be in front of me, not that he would or even care about who I am, but he'd be like preachy. He just. But here's what I want to break down. Is that all these things, all these platforms are designed to keep you in a mental loop, right? A mental loop of frustration that white people are superior than you. It's just meant to do that. All this distraction, even the Tiger Chololani, or not Chololani, American Cholo, thing. It's all meant to keep you in this frustrated loop that white people are superior than you. And you're gonna go, well, how so? It's, American Cholo and Tyga. Yeah, but who are their bosses? Who are their platforms? Who are paying them? Right? Who are their sponsors? I know he has sponsors, right?
Oh man.
Right? And he has a white suit, and he has a little checkbook, and he has a suit, and he has a Beamer, and he probably lives on the west side, and he's probably telling American Cholo, you're fucking great, bro.
Good job, bro.
Hey.
You did that.
Right? It's to keep you in a frustrated loop that people of European descent are superior than you. So what do? Here's what we do. I don't have all the answers, but, I work on myself. I try to be sovereign in that way. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you what to read. I'm not telling you what to think, although there's many things that you can search. But whenever you confront yourself with this distracted loop of white supremacy, because what we're talking about is nonsense. It has nothing to do with the community. It has nothing to do with cleaning up a street and putting, plant-based food or healthy food or mental health facilities that work through medicines and indigenous teachings, because that's what really heals the world is indigenous teachings. And I'm talking about like the Res Natives and the Lakotas and the Temescalis from Mexico. I mean, there's a lot of healing there, So I'm not in a tangent. I'm trying to help everyone get a perspective that this dysfunctional loop that white people are superior in us is false. But we get stuck looking at the TV and we get stuck looking at our phone. I'm going to tell you why it's false. Because Europe did not develop a sophisticated calendar system that has 26,000 years of documentation. They have a sophisticated math, frequency, reality, understanding. They were interdimensional living, not time living with a watch, waiting for a paycheck to go out to eat and drink beer and have sex and go to sleep and wake up, go to work, drink beer, have sex, go to sleep. You see how monotonous that is? We were thinkers. We wanted to position buildings on direct positions, on direct moon phases. Scientists of astrology, scientists of botany, all of that took math, sound and frequency. So when you put some European bullshit in front of me, none of them achieved that. They may have learned from the brown people.
They stole it.
But they never developed it, nor did they master it, nor did they understand it. Because if they did, they would know who to respect and how to be humble. Humility is a vehicle of truth. Arrogance and divisive tactics are colonial traits. So you should be able to point out at him a mile away.
I called it from a mile away. He's like, to me, he's a culture vulture.
Of course he's going to hire some Mexican dude who's hella funny.
Shout out to Duno.
Yeah. Of course he's going to do that. Oh, yeah, I could fucking throw you what? How much do you make a year? Fucking, 20, 30 at working at a fast food? Fuck it. I'll give you 120 grand, and the fucking dude falls for it.
That's the Fernando Valenzuela of the fucking 2022 right there. Here you go.
From what I know, when No Jumper put out that edited version of American Cholo making some racial slurs, allegedly, because it was just like completely taken out of context, in my opinion. And shout out to American Cholo, man. I watch your shit all day. I love your channel. You know what I'm saying? And
well, that's the difference, because I would never come on any platform and diss anybody, because everybody's sovereign to their understanding and their reality. Mine, you can't.
No Jumper, for me, he's on a whole different fucking story.
Well, you should be able to spot him a mile away. A colonial antagonist.
Yeah.
Someone who
Cortez coming down.
They're paying him. He's getting millions and millions of dollars from, his. I don't know Bill Clinton, but you know how to get into the party where all the senators and all the fucking bullshit is at, right? Oh, wow, yeah, let's sponsor that porn site, because I heard he's like a porn dude.
Yeah, now he's a big porn star now.
Yeah, of course he's going to. And who's the biggest porn stars? People of color.
The devil.
It's another version of white supremacy. And he'll come in the fucking sit right here and go, oh, you're crazy. This doesn't make sense. How do you figure I'm a white supremacist? Like I don't even do that, because your platforms feature people of color, very probably underage colored people. Your platform for your No Jumper is about an ethnic music called hip hop.
The streets, all this shit, all this
right?
shit. That,
You sit there and you go, oh yeah, fuck, I get to kick it with the fucking hardest dudes and the whatevers and the.
Because he be scared. He be looking scared. I be seeing some of the he be getting.
I don't know. I just see him a mile away, and I knew he was an
shaking.
antagonist, a colonial antagonist who's there to disrupt and perpetuate Jim Crow.
Shaking in his boots.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
my opinion.
Yo, shout out to everyone in the chat right now.
Man, they're live, bro. They're like,
check out. Shout out to everyone watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Please.
Like the video. Comment on this
1492.
video. Share the video. Visit our website, lanativespodcast.com. Purchase a t-shirt. Support. You know what I'm saying? We've been on the air for a few years now, and it's an honor to talk to our community and to...
Get a t-shirt, man. Get a t-shirt. LA Native, man. Get yourself a
and
t-shirt.
to give them the content that they need, man, because this platform right here is all about love and unity, and we promote some of the best indigenous hip hop here.
And there's some other topics that we need to get into very deeply, because there is a movement of division that's coming from like an African American perspective as well, right? I know you've heard of like these African American individuals and scholars that are saying
The Tariq guy. Tariq something.
Oh God, what are they saying? They're saying that that they were already here, and that the Aztec people were black and the Mayan people were black, and that they're the original. That there was no slave trade. So there's a lot of good, things that we can discuss on a deep level. Because when we deconstruct white supremacy, we're deconstructing all of their knowledge, what we thought was truth. But every, 60, 50 years, they start erasing a little bit of it, right? Like the slave trade. Like, oh, that really didn't happen. Or the taking of indigenous land. Oh, that really didn't happen. Because they're not writing it in the books for the next generations that are coming. Yeah,
that's not part of the history.
It's not part of the lesson. Why do you need to learn that? Just know that we came and we bettered everything.
Yeah, fuck that. It's not an American fucking class they want you to take and shit.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you the truth, because the truth is too horrific to hear.
They can't
and
be
see,
proud of rape.
that's the era we're in now, is the unraveling of white supremacy. And then you're going to get these Nazi motherfuckers who go, well, we're white, and look at all the societies that we built, and look at all the cities that we built, and look, we civilized all of you, right? With this narcissistic view, and you're a peasant, and I'm better than you, and I'm richer than you, and I'm a part of this family, and I have royal blood, and I can trace my lineage back to Spain, and oh man, you guys are a joke. You guys are a fucking joke. Because nothing that came from Europe was an advancement in humanity. It was a colonial mindset to kill off as many as you can, create fear, and torture the children that were coming in the next generations so that you could ultimately have control. But that is the most foolish way to try to control masses of people. You have to come from science. You have to come from knowledge. You have to come from wisdom. That's why we were able to build these great cities with hundreds of thousands of people. And they weren't just regular cities. There was lots of things happening in those cities that was revolving around healing, art, math, sound, architecture. We blow away Europe. We blow away Europe in wisdom. That's how we confront white supremacy. Even if you don't know your own history there, you know you were a part of this land. You know that you were born on Anahuac, Turtle Island, and you have a family that reaches out all the way up to Alaska. I've never been to a Native community that didn't treat me like a brother or sister. You know what I mean? That's our power. That's how we defeat people busting up fruit carts. That's how we defeat colonial antagonists with large platforms. We defeat them with unity, humility, and wisdom. Math, science, frequency, botany. We have all those wisdoms. They're all still there in Mexico. You can go there and talk to your tia, and I'm sure she can break down why they eat that plant, why they grow that plant, what that plant function is, and all of their medicine is grown by them. Europeans don't have that. So, in my opinion, you can't compare. You can't be arrogant to me, Adam, or whoever thinks they're better than me, because I don't even think I'm better than Adam. That's my humility. I'm better for myself in my own reality because I go to sleep with myself and I wake up with myself in my own reality. Sovereign, respecting the land, the water, the fire, the air, knowing I'm a part of those elements. That I must remain humble to those elements. And if all those elements create other humans, then I have to continue to have that respect. We have to take the judgment out of things. And American Cholo has every right to have every platform. And if American Cholo thinks that taking Tyga's video out was gonna better our people, uplift our people, then I'm not here to tell you, hey, bro, that's not it. But I am here to tell you that we have all that we need to be sovereign, humble, and connected. That was the medicine of all of our ancestors. All of them, from all the way from the plains to the Alaska to, the tip of Chile. Abuelos always taught with love and humility and firm. They were firm.
Man, they were tough.
But you loved that they cared about you enough to guide. And that's all we do is guide. And that's what the white men thought we were weak for, right? Because we weren't assertive to shove our wisdoms down his throat. But we tried, you know? We tried. We told you, don't live there in the winter because you're going to fucking freeze to death. Oh, they're going to trick us. Dude, we move over there during the winter time because it's fucking, it's like this much snow. You're lying. Okay. Fucking come back, they're gone. So you're trying to tell me I'm stupid? The people that try to teach you how to live on this land, you know what I mean? I know I'm connected to them. I know their wisdoms live in me. And in due time, 100 years from now, we'll have a different reality. I promise you that.
Shout out to Indigenous 1492, Richie in the building. Shout out to Sub One. Shout out to everyone that's watching, tuning in. This was a great conversation. Next week, we have Andy Salas coming in. He's of the Quiche Nation.
Oh, cool.
You know, he's going to have an explosive conversation with you, Zero.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be more topic driven. You know, I feel like, you know, we obviously got way more engagement today than any other recent episode.
And you know,
and you've been telling me about this, Zero. I think now's the time for us to speak about current events that affect the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of, like I said, guys.
We have a platform, guys. We're looking for interns. We're looking for support. Anyone that wants to contribute to the LA Natives podcast, if you feel like you have what it takes to, you know, contribute and to be part of the growth, social media, website management, production, event, research, help us book interviews, you name it. We're looking for event organizers, right?
There's a lot of
it's
hats
open doors.
They're gonna wear. Yeah.
It's open doors over here, guys.
It's time for us to organize. We had a good little following, and remember, we're coming with science. We're coming with strategy. We're coming with humility, all to unify our people, all to unify our indigenous family, to understand that no white man's genocide can destroy something they did not create. And to those Africans who feel like they need to tell natives that they're the original man and that they're the original natives and that, you know, the first thing a native elder will tell you is that he's not the leader of anything. Even if you thought he was the wisest man on this earth, he would tell you, I don't know anything. That's humility. That's truth. I'm not saying that your truth isn't truth, but it's divisive to claim. Now, here's my take on it before we leave. There were no races when we were here. Of course there were Africans here, I think. Of course there were Asians that came too. What, you think just because the white man crossed an ocean that travel happened here? We were massive, massive people who accepted wisdom. You don't get to be a wise man if you don't accept wisdom from other places, right? But I'll do tell you one thing. Those Africans that claim to be original, you know nothing of the calendar systems, and all of your information is coming from books that were brought by a white man, called the Bible, literature, that we had nothing to do with. Those that speak truth need no books, because truth is truth. So if that's your truth, then you can believe your truth. But I know my truth, and I've studied the calendar systems, and I understand them. And if you did too, we wouldn't have this conversation. But with all due respect to all communities, American Cholo, the African American community that believes they're the original indigenous people, you know, I don't want no beef. This is not that. This is us rooting ourselves, telling you and everyone else in the community that we know our shit. and we speak for us. You can speak for you. Go read your books. Go get your authors in order. You know?
And bring awareness. Bring awareness. A lot of them don't even know about the struggle, about the Brown Mountain struggle. You know, you gotta bring awareness. They don't know. I know. I'm in the hood, and I'm telling you, I'm sharing stories about what our people gone through, and they're like, "Dude, no, that's crazy. The Dodger Stadium that happened there, like they trip out. Like,
well, look,
LA people need to know our history.
For me, all my black brothers and sisters, we're all part of the same tribe. In my opinion, that's how I see it. You know, because ultimately, you know,
absolutely,
like we are one people.
You know, my stepfather's black. I have 2 black brothers. They accepted us as much as I accepted them, and they, you know, at the time, you know, living in a, you know, damn near poverty when I grew up, you know, it was rough, and we go through a similar struggle.
Yeah, bro, it's
living out here in LA.
It's the same struggle, you know. The same struggle. Horrible.
You know, when I started getting deep into Mayan and Aztec and Toltec wisdoms, it never mentioned race. It never mentioned race. It never alluded to race. It alluded to information. It alluded to calculations, math, symbolism, energy, but not race.
So you gotta think about it. Who brought us language? The white man, the European white man gave us language and taught us that we didn't know we were black, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't know we were brown, yo. Like that it was.
Well, the black, brown, savage, colored, nigger, all that came from Europe.
So we're gonna take that out of context right there. They're gonna take that
absolutely
out of context
not.
and then they're built to whatever the fuck
Look,
you're about to go
I'm not here to
viral
hurt people.
tomorrow
If you look me up and you listen to how I talk, I'm confronting colonial perspective.
Dialect.
You know, I'm confronting colonial perspective, and colonials think that blacks or even us, they would call us that, right? Anyone who was dark. Right?
Yeah, we were colored. We were under the colored, you know what I mean? Yeah. We were colored.
I mean, they just were superior because they had blonde hair and blue eyes. And
you wet back or you beaner.
Yeah. So,
wow.
But then, okay, so you hear somebody say, wet back, beaner, fucking immigrant, fucking whatever.
Alien.
Then you start going, okay, instead of getting frustrated, you start thinking about those temples. You start thinking about their math. You start thinking about their way they used to use art as a scientific tool. You start thinking about how they mastered botany. And they did that by observing nature for thousands of years, not hundreds, thousands of years. You don't develop calendars that are 26,000 years in cycles to just go, oh, this is just this is just something we did. No, it's to remember what season we lived in, what stars were out, how it affected us. Like, that's why I'm not too convinced that we didn't know about the white man. You know, I'm not convinced at all, because they're the biggest liar of ever. They lied from the moment they get here. They're still lying to us now.
They killed us with the blankets. They got rid of us, giving us those blankets that were full of smallpox and shit like that.
But more than that, they confused our way, because I have never heard of tribes that murdered children or kidnapped children or abused children.
There's no mass gravesite in Mexico nowhere. Like, our heads didn't come flying down the temples like they said that like Mel Gibson said we did, right? There's no mass, no gravesites, no skeletons.
Right, that's my point.
All that shit's in Paris.
Everything
that even catacombs and shit. All that shit's in Europe.
Yeah, mass murders like that existed over there.
Europe.
You know, plagues and things like that. You know, because they weren't very clean. Yeah. So that tells you alone. Like, I was watching this documentary on castles, right? There's a big ass castle, all fancy in Scotland, or I don't know where the fuck it was, somewhere in England. And they're like, oh, this fancy castle. The only problem with it is they didn't build restrooms. So when they were walking down the hall, if they felt the urge to defecate or urinate, they would stop where they were at and take a dump.
Pop a squat.
And continue walking.
With all the armor on? How'd they do it? Like a knight,
no, but
picture
just
a
to
knight
think,
walking
like,
down the castle.
that's like me, like,
Put this shit
fucking walking by the office and like, oh shit, I gotta take a shit. Let me take a shit right here.
Here you go.
Like right there.
Sounds like Skid Row.
They did not build in restrooms. They were not that type of society. So then scientifically, you got to break it down and go, well, then that would affect them like bacteria.
Hygiene, yeah, bro. Think
Bacteria, they would get infections. Those infections lead
COVID.
to you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I can't say that word. But anyways, fucking, they weren't in very clean environments. Now you go and you switch over to Mexico, and that was the cleanest place that these people have ever seen.
That's crazy.
They didn't realize, like, what? They have a sewer system. They have a designated place to go to the restroom that helps the rest of the environment.
We had Savila. You know what I mean? We had Savila. We had all that shit that's like
medicine.
That's medicine, yo.
But
and that shit
now you
heals
switch back to Europe and you go, oh shit, this castle was built with no restrooms.
Yeah.
And they relied on a peasant to come and clean that shit up.
Oh,
pick it up.
Pooper scooper.
So these are the people that were elites. These are the elites.
Still happening now. We're the pooper scoopers. The brown community out here is pooping, scooping. You know what I'm saying?
Anyways, there's hundreds of topics that we want to go into and
we're going to
really
have some good guests.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And really confront, bring back our self-esteem. That's what we're trying to do. It's not
brown excellence.
It's not necessarily something that like, I'm not trying to make people seem dirty or try to rag on them or try to make them feel like they're less, because they're not. This is their history. This is your truth. Right? This is our truth. Transcontinental unions with the Inca, the Maya, the Tolteca, the Mexica. These are established societies that go back thousands of years. Just because they didn't write it down in books with words and have libraries and have fucking people going all across lands, murdering children, stealing wealth. That's not the societies that we lived in. We lived in wisdom.
They stole our history.
Astrological science.
They destroyed it and stole
nature as science. Like, they just couldn't comprehend our intelligence. So whenever you're caught in this loop of racist, I'm losing the word, how they're perpetuating racism. It's like everywhere. It's everywhere. Oh, Trump's a racist. Oh, Adam 12's a racist. Oh, it's a racist. He's a racist. That's a racist. That's a racist. This is a racist. And you're caught up in this loop. You're caught up in this loop. And you never compare it to wisdom, science, humility, right? Foods that contribute to your moods, right? Don't follow these idiot colonials that think they're know-it-alls, because they don't know shit. None of them have produced anything close to what our ancestors have produced. And that information is still available to us.
Today.
So we're going to get into it. Thank you, everybody, for being on the chat, being so active.
The chat is lit. The viewership is lit.
Nice.
A lot of people
good
tuning in tonight.
No, we really love you. This is our chance as a community.
We need to come together more.
Contribute.
We need to discuss these real topics, because these fools are going onto these major platforms and talking about shit that happens in jail. Mm-hmm. We don't need to talk about shit like that. That stayed in jail. Our older OGs told us to go to college, do good, become something, become better. Let's talk about all those brothers that are going to school, that are educating themselves. Let's talk about what's up with the Hot Cheeto dude. I didn't know he was a Hispanic brother from East LA. Mm-hmm. Dude, that's major. A Hot Cheeto dude that fucking came into the game with the fucking Lays or whatever and made a partnership deal or whatever the hell, and he became in the game. Mm-hmm. East LA, big up, saludos to.
That's what I'm saying. Like we always, fall into a category of going like, oh, we struggled and we suffer. And really, if we change our perspective and think, we've learned how to maneuver through racist climates, through poverty, and still happen to have happy families. I'm not saying that there's no trouble in our environments, in our communities. But I think the closer we get to indigenous principles, the closer we implement that in our family and in our daily life, then the growth that our ancestor Cuauhtémoc and all the wisdoms that come from these ancient times will allow us to receive them, learn them, and apply them in our lives, which that's all I strive to do every day of my life, and I feel very healthy, spiritually grounded, and I'm contributing to my community with Malinali. So everything I do revolves around bringing this awareness, but most of all, the self-esteem that we're missing. We are brilliant people. We are brave people. It was children that kept and held on to this wisdom. Teenagers who went into the forests and deserts trying to remember their grandfather's medicine. You guys are powerful as fuck. And I'm happy to be here on Wednesdays and see your interaction and see you clicking on our platform. So we'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for contributing. And I think we're going to get a phone number, right? So that they can actually call in.
Starting next week, we're going to go ahead and start promoting our Google voice line so people can start calling in.
Call in.
I mean, the thing is to be as interactive as possible.
And
to
whoever
let people
does,
have a voice.
But whoever does call in, just make sure you're respectful and have a productive conversation.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. We need to get the best thinkers. We need to get the progressive thinkers.
The builders. The ones
I don't know
build
shit.
pyramids.
I don't have any other fucking. I know very little.
Pyramid builders.
Yeah. That's what we're gonna do. Exactly.
Pyramid builders.
But not necessarily like the actual stones. Build the pyramid for our communities. Build these thoughts so that they can be combined and aligned with our celestial creator. We are aligned with the stars. We are star beings. Just because they raped our mothers and took advantage of the children, they didn't erase the stars that live in us. They didn't erase the spirit that lives in us. Focus on that. We'll see you next Wednesday. Tlazcomatli, Ometeo, Tonantzin.